tracing the history. So, Temple guy studying political science and American studies.
I was going to run for office,
right?
man.
Were you?
That was
you already had the door-to-door thing down.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously there was something in your past that we can't talk about that derailed that.
We'll keep that off camera.
Yeah. So, is there?
There's nothing I did.
But is there a hiatus between that and Drexel LeBeau, construction management that sort of redirects your area of focus and your passion, or what?
So I always loved real estate, and I dabbled in it in my early 20s. I became a realtor for a little while with Coldwell Banker Preferred. That was the only job I think I've ever been fired from. Straight up. David Krieger, if you're out there, much love, man.
He's gotten publicity in more than one of my videos.
Listen, I'm a big fan of his. He's actually a fantastic mentor, fantastic boss.
Yep.
I didn't do it right, to be frank with you. I also didn't like it. Right? Like I didn't love it enough.
But you learned what you should love and pursued that.
Exactly. But one of my clients hired me actually to come work for his law firm, which is interesting, right? I did such a good job on helping him buy a house that he actually hired me for his firm.
There you go.
And that made me realize I didn't want to be a lawyer, working for his firm. And so I started going back to Drexel to learn the construction management piece. If I was going to get involved in real estate, I should probably learn how to build it.
Right.
And no knock on Drexel, but the first class I ever had, I had a professor who told the class that, the Comcast building was like kind of being developed at the time, and that this was the height of real estate in Philadelphia. That this was as good as it was going to get.
We've jumped the shark. Anything after that, we're done.
And all I kept thinking about was, this guy's a moron. That's not possible.
And when is this? What year is this?
Early 2000. And I was like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, nobody knew what crash was coming at the end.
I'm sure I'm not Facebook friends with him, so you won't see this.
Yeah. But I thought, there's no way. I was like, I can't spend another couple semesters doing this. Yeah. I gotta get into the industry right now. And I put my resume out on Monster.com, and a recruiter hit me. And I got a job in the industry. And I walked away. I walked away from Drexel. I never finished, and I got a job in the industry. What do I need your certificate for on construction management if I can go to a design build firm? One thing led to another, and I left there, and I started a janitorial company with my parents. And so there was like this 5-year hiatus where I was trying to get the janitorial company to operate, and it didn't. I mean, it broke even, but it didn't operate. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. It was a great lesson for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, don't look at my notes, dude.
Getting prepped.
I know, you're trying to sneak. What's he going to say next?
What's he going to ask next?
I'll let you have a swig. I mean, look at me, I'm almost through my whole beer. Project Rehab. You should talk about that. You should get some publicity. I mean, I know about it after sitting down with you, but use this as a forum to let the public know.
So you actually asked me before of all the awards or accolades or things that I've done over the last 9 years.
I appreciate it.
Which one? What's the one that I personally internalized the most?
Yeah.
It would be the awards for Project Rehab. So Project Rehab has won University City Historical Society Awards for one, its creation, and then 2 for saving St. Peter's Church at 47th Sexing, which is not a story you're going to hear much about in the public.
No.
And no offense to my bosses at UCD, but you can thank them for there not being a whole lot of publicity on it. Project Rehab was created. When I closed the janitorial company, I owned 2 rental properties. I didn't see myself as an investor. I didn't see myself as a developer. I saw myself as like the weekend warrior guy who collects a couple of extra dollars in rent. And so I started looking for jobs. And when I had the janitorial company, we had 14 or 15 clients spread out over 3 states, right? So I had employees that, in some cases, were working 7 days a week, 24-hour shifts, three teams.
Wow.
It was crazy, and I was driving like a madman. And so I was looking. I just moved to West Philly. I was looking for a job that was close to home. So I applied to the University City District for their clean and safe management position. I thought, I'm running a janitorial company.
Right. Yeah.
Clients in 3 states,
Yeah.
U.S. Coast
I got this
Guard,
covered.
Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
I got them.
Right.
You want me to clean 2 square miles?
Right.
Done.
You're overqualified.
I'm overqualified. And I made it through the final round of interviews. But during the final round, they had asked us to make a presentation on improvements we would make to certain issues that they were involved with.
Sure.
The last piece was a throw-in. It was from a security standpoint and from a safety standpoint and a cleanliness standpoint, how would you deal with vacant properties? My response was to go full lawyer on them in the middle of my interview. Basically, I'm going to sue the redevelopment authority. Let's go to war, and it ended with
So the Widener roots.
yeah,
came out at that
exactly.
point. Yeah.
And my end thought process was we would hire a real estate developer as a consultant who would walk these owners after I prepped the owners and I brought the owners into the fold. Would walk the owners through the rehabilitation process. I didn't get the job.
Okay.
What I got was a lunch, and the lunch turned into, we really like this idea. We'll hire you as a consultant for $350 a month for 3 months. Can you draft us a business plan around this concept?
It's the best job you ever lost.
It was awesome. It was fantastic because what ended up happening was I tried writing a business plan and I could not pump one out. Instead, what came out was a playbook, an if-then scenario. If this is the scenario the owner's in, then these are the steps you take. What was ironic about it was I knew jack shit. I owned 2 minor properties, a single family in Fishtown and a duplex in Frankfurt. I mean, I was in the process of buying my 3rd duplex right off of Trenton Avenue in Fishtown. I knew nothing. The whole thing was a farce. And I handed it in and I was I collected my 3 checks and I was like, I'm done. And 3 weeks later they called and said, well, listen, we kind of like this, but we really don't know what to do with it. And I'm paraphrasing, but I was like, well, I'll take a shot.
Yeah.
And I remember because my wife was doing a show in Louisville, Kentucky. She was an actress. And I had flown out to see her show, and I was standing in the airport on my way home to, get involved more with the janitorial world. So that's what I was still doing. And I got a phone call about a property at 49th in Springfield that I had turned L&I onto. And the whole idea was I knew where the owner was, and L&I wasn't paying attention to the property. So I was going to play chicken with the owner. I was going to get L&I to realize how dangerous this property was, declare it eminently dangerous, and go to knock it down. And with that information, I'd get the owner to stick his head out of the sand. And that's exactly what happened. We filed an injunction in court. We stopped the demo from happening. And then I walked this guy through the process of rehab until he realized it was beyond his scope. Introduced him to some realtors, sold the property, got it redeveloped, and just sold again 4 months ago. And so Project Rehab was born from that experience. And here it is 8 years later. It's now funded by the Department of Community and Economic Development, by the Commonwealth, and we've positively impacted in one way or another 55 different properties. It's created $26 million in real estate value in University City. And the biggest win is the Frank Furness designed St. Mark's Church St. Peter's Church at 47th and Knesset, which the city wanted to demolish with your tax dollars and my tax dollars. And I kind of embarrassed them in court. And so that's why you would never really see UCD's involvement, because at the time, UCD didn't want to be publicly known as stopping a lawsuit that the city had put together. But today, that building is now on the rent roll, on the tax roll for the first time in 100 years. It's valued at almost $2 million at the moment. It's got 7 years left on the abatement. It's 21 apartments, 2 daycares, a publishing company, and a co-working space instead of a hole in the ground. There is nothing better than that. And UCD doesn't own a piece of it. We took no money from anybody. This was all market-based driven, but it needed a little assistance. And that's where my program comes in. Wow. It's pretty awesome. And so even though I don't have a lot of time to do it, it's hard to give that up when we can positively impact the community.
So my biggest takeaway there was a lot.
Yeah. It's an interesting
That a
career.
janitorial guy landed an actress in Kentucky.
That is true. I did, and to be
That's
honest,
amazing work.
Wait, here's the best part. The first date we ever went on, I think I was actually driving my janitorial van.
Dude.
So you know.
I mean, yeah, I guess way to just set the bar and it's only going up from there, right?
Yeah, it's only going up from there.
I like that.